a Russian writer and a beloved father of our nation. What was the relationship between Leo Tolstoy and Mahatma Gandhi? क्या इन्फ्लुएंस किया था लियो टॉल्स्टॉय ने महात्मा गांधी पे और कौन सी राइटिंग्स, कौन सी आइडियोलॉजीज महात्मा गांधी ने लियो टॉल्स्टॉय से इंस्पायर हुए थे? Today in this session we are going to talk about this, a topic which is very seminal for your UPSC preparation, relevant for your GS paper, relevant for your interview preparation, and as a knowledge basis, yes, you should know that there was a very good, a very different sort of relationship between both of them. क्या था ये? And today we will explore this in our lesson. Tolstoy, Nonviolence and Gandhi, a literary philosophical link between the two. Let's go ahead with this. So guys, Tolstoy philosophy of non-violence. We all know the father of our nation, Mahatma Gandhi, one thing that he always emphasized upon very categorically, बहुत ज़्यादा articulate जो करते थे, that is non-violence. That was the main, you can say the primary ideology of Gandhi. And this is what exactly Tolstoy believed in. So Tolstoy rejected organized religion and state violence. When in case of anything, be it colonization, be it combating with the colonial rule, be it any kind of state apparatus, what he completely vehemently refused was, and that was non-violence. Tolstoy rejected organized religion and state violence, believing that true Christian, the religion of Christianity required moral purity and love. This is for every religion, I would say. Any religion, if you go to the crux of it, that talks about peace, that talks about non-violence, love, purity. Otherwise, it will be impure. If there is no love, if there is no sympathy, no concern, no affection, what is that religion for? And this is exactly what Leo Tolstoy, a true Christian, believed in, that non-violence is one of the most important crux of Christianity. Central to his thought was the principles of non-resistance to evil by force derived from the Sermon on the Mount. So he believed on the very much fact that yes, we have to completely resist the evil by force. We cannot accept the evil of any kind, be it non-violence or anger or any sort of negative emotion. We got to reject it with consciousness, with a very strong force कि हम उसको accept ही ना करें. So yes, non-resistance to evil by force, and evil of anything, internal evil as well as external. Something जो हमारे अंदर जो anger के thoughts आते हैं, जो whatever negative feelings we have to resist that, as well as evil that exists outside. That is colonial rule. For instance, yes, colonialism was evil to the colonized people, to the natives of India, not only India but across the globe. It was evil, and that is what Tolstoy used to say, that is evil, and we have to resist it, but not by not by violence. We have to resist it by force, but not by violence. He saw violence as a distortion of human conscience and opposed war. Leo Tolstoy, the one who wrote War and Peace, he was the one who completely, vehemently opposed war, capital punishment, and political coercion. So in a way, he kind of combated, or he was vehemently against those ideas जो कि aggression को propound करती हैं, जो कि violence को propound करती हैं. All these ideas can only be stated, such noble ideas, by a true leader. Leo Tolstoy had those qualities within him. So this Russian writer, the very loved Russian writer, had all these propounded these ideas which were very much influenced by Gandhi. And moral roots of Tolstoy's teachings believe that inner transformation and individual ethics were the foundation of social change. So any social change जो हम लोग expect करते हैं अपने around, that can only be through inner transformation and individual ethics. So whatever individual ethics that we have, जब हमारा खुद का individual transformation होगा, that will eventually bring about the big change. The big changes that we want to see in the society. This is the social reformation can only happen, the social change can only happen when there will be an inner change. And within every individual, he criticized modern civilization for promoting materialism, moral decay, and spiritual emptiness. We got to understand one thing, that when Leo Tolstoy was propounding these ideas, what was on great rise, and that is modernism. Modernity was at great rise. Today we are living in a very different era, but that era was changing. And this is the reason modernism focuses on what? It focuses on materialism, consumerism, capitalism, all those factors which create huge divides inequalities between two classes, the upper class and the lower classes. Okay, so this divide that was being created was vehemently, very aggressively opposed by Leo Tolstoy. This was the modern civilization decay. He said this modern civilization was bound to decay, this human race. बिकॉज इतना ज़्यादा जैसे ही ग्रीड आएगा, जैसे ही मटीरियलिज्म आएगा, कंज्यूमरिज्म आएगा, वैसे ही ग्रीड आएगा, एवरिस आएगा, उसी तरह से मैलिस आएगा, evil will exist in the society. He advocated simple living, truthfulness and compassion as revolutionary values. Isn't it echoing with somebody whom we always see as the leader, that is Mahatma Gandhi? So yes, Mahatma Gandhi was highly inspired by Tolstoy, and he advocated for simple living. Live a simple, peaceful life. Truthfulness. Always speak the truth no matter how hard it is. And compassion. Have mercy, sympathy, empathy for the people around you. Okay, so these were the values that Leo Tolstoy always focused upon. Key writings that influenced Gandhi: The Kingdom of God is Within You. So yes, Gandhi, highly inspired by Leo Tolstoy. इनका कौन सा राइटिंग, द किंगडम ऑफ गॉड इज विद इन यू 1894 में. दिस वॉज अ प्रोफाउंड क्रिटिक ऑफ द चर्च स्टेट एंड मिलिटरिज्म, प्रमोटेड पैसिफिज्म एंड सेल्फ रूल. स्वराज, self-rule. That is exactly what Gandhi was inspired by reading. Which work? The Kingdom of God is Within You. 1894 में ये लियो टॉल्स्टॉय का वर्क था. इन्हीं ने profound critique of the church state, anything जो भी authority में था. He is like that, we got to check the authority, and militarism promoted pacifism and self-rule. That is, whatever that is, we got to have the idea of self-rule जो कि गांधी ने propound किया था. Letter to a Hindu 1908 urged Indians to seek freedom through love and moral resistance, not armed revolt. So इनका जो letter to a Hindu 1908, that is the letter to the entire India that he meant, and that is how he kind of promoted the idea of non-violence. He seeped in the idea. उन्होंने ये seep किया था idea that go ahead, resist the British rule, but by non-violence. And this influenced Mahatma Gandhi a lot. These texts deeply shaped Gandhi's understanding of ethical resistance and civil disobedience, non-cooperation movement, civil disobedience, whatever movements that were propounded by Gandhi. Yes, the seeds of this idea were sown in by Leo Tolstoy's works. Then you have next, Gandhi's response and intellectual engagement. Gandhi discovered Leo Tolstoy in South Africa. Remember, he was in South Africa for a very long time. He did his studies there and called The Kingdom of God is Within You, a book that left a deep impression upon him. So this book left a deep impression upon him, and this was the work that kind of inspired him, influenced him to be what he became. Later, always propounding for non-violence, always propounding for compassion, sympathy, swaraj, self-rule, and all those ideas जो कि Leo Tolstoy के ideas थे. He corresponded with Tolstoy 1909 and 1910. इन्हें एक साल through letters, through correspond किया है इन्हें, sharing ideas on passive resistance and spiritual reform. That established Tolstoy farm near Johannesburg. Established Tolstoy farm near Johannesburg in 1910 as a living experiment in non-violent communal life. So these ideas, you can see that how inspired Gandhi. Convergence of Tolstoy non-violence and Gandhi's ahimsa. Tolstoy ka Christian non-resistance or Gandhi ka ahimsa, the non-violence ideology, non-harm, both emphasize moral courage and love over force. So love over force always wins, no matter what it is. Victory हमेशा सच की होती है. Victory हमेशा प्यार की होती है. That is what they always propounded. Tolstoy Christian non-resistance, इनका जो non-resistance था, and गांधी का जो अहिंसा था, non-harm. Okay, both emphasize moral courage and love over force. Gandhi extended this idea into political ethic, making non-violence a force for mass mobilization. How did he mobilize? How did he mobilize the Indian crowd? जिसमें बच्चे भी थे, जिसमें औरतें भी थीं, जिसमें आदमी भी थे, जिसमें the entire, every Indian was involved, and that was non-violence. Could he have gathered so much of crowd on the basis of violence? Never. He would have been able to do that. But just में बच्चे भी थे, औरतें भी थी, everyone was involved, and that was non-violence. Both thinkers believe that truth and love, satya and prem, were more powerful than any physical aggression, than any kind of physical violence. And that is what Gandhi always believed, something that was inspired by Leo Tolstoy. Tolstoy influence on Satyagraha. Tolstoy provided Gandhi with intellectual and moral basis for his principles of Satyagraha, truth, force. So सत्याग्रह जो गांधी जी का बहुत important ideology है जो उनके he's always propounded that, always promoted it, and that was Satyagraha. That is again, that was influenced by Tolstoy. The insistence on non-violent resistance to injustice became the bedrock of Gandhi's political campaigns. Every political campaign spoke of Satyagraha, of non-violence. Gandhi acknowledged, yes, and he also acknowledged that Tolstoy taught him to see non-violence as a universal principle, not just a tactic. This was not a strategy, कोई scheme नहीं थी, कोई rule नहीं, कोई formula नहीं था, but this was the way of life. This was how he wanted to live. This was a universal principle. And that is he. Maybe just like a universal law जैसे होता है, like gravity. So that is what he believed, that no matter what it is, the human race can only win the war against anything. And that is only through non-violence, through non-aggression, and through compassion, sympathy, and love for the other. Then you have Civilizational dialogue and Indian relevance. Tolstoy's critique of European modernity resonated with Gandhi's vision of Swaraj, and this is the reason the self-rule tha. Gandhi was completely against the idea of modernizing India in the way जो कि यूरोप का मॉडर्न एक you can say model था. That model he did not want to bring to India. He was like, we are a different sort of a land, our resources are different, our labor is different, we are an agricultural land. He did not want that modernity to touch the Indian ground. He wanted to be India modern, but its own way. However, this exactly was Tolstoy. Both saw industrialization, उन्हीं ने भी, चाहे लियो टॉल्स्टॉय और गांधी, both saw industrialization and imperialism as threats to spiritual and moral life. Both high advocates of moral life or spirituality, and इनको दोनों को पता that industrialization will ultimately lead to huge disparities between the classes, between चाहे इंडिया में तो it aggravated into caste system, into classes, into social classes and everything. So this was something that he was against. The Tolstoy-Gandhi connection symbolizes an East-West ethical alliance against colonialism and exploitation. So now UPSC relevance guy, how is it relevant? Ethics, governance and essay writing में ये आपके बहुत important है, आ सकता है. If an essay can come on Tolstoy-Gandhi relationship or just an essay on Gandhi's ideologies, you definitely can talk about Tolstoy. You definitely can go ahead with his writing, with his teachings. What teachings of Leo Tolstoy inspired Gandhi? What ideologies he took from him? And what were the similarities between them? So useful for essays, shows how literary thought and political practice can merge together to create transformative ideologies. Okay, so this is a very relevant topic. I hope that every one of you enjoyed this short video, and make sure अगर ऐसे interesting videos के लिए जाना है to subscribe to the channel, like the video, share with your friends, and also my course is starting very much, that is from tomorrow, 18th April 2025 at 1 p.m. So make sure that every day the classes from Monday to Friday 1 बजे होती है. The entire course जो UPSC English Literature Optional का है वो cover किया जाता है. The best part of taking English Literature Optional, course limited है. हमें पता है कि क्या क्वेश्चन आएगा. बहुत प्रैक्टिस सेशंस हम लोग करते हैं तो आपको आंसर राइटिंग एबिलिटी आ जाती है, गुड एक्सप्रेशन, वेरी गुड वोकैबुलरी. ये हेल्प करता है आगे जाके भी आपके जीएस के पेपर कैसे लिखने में. जो इन्फॉर्मेशन आपको आती है वो आपके जीएस के पेपर में भी हेल्प करती है. सो गो अहेड, take this course and win your race of becoming a UPSC civil servant. I'll see you all in the next video.